Good evening guys, it's Paul here for Forest Frame, and tonight we're going to be looking at DXO Photolab 9. Now I've heard a lot of good things about this software and I've been dying to try it myself. I was approached by DXO themselves and asked me to have a look at it, see what I thought. So I did. Couldn't ask me twice because I was dying to try this software. I've seen so many videos online about it and I thought I'd give it a go and see if it was really good as it was. So I'm just going to do my usual workflow. I'm not going to change it, trying to go through different things to show what it does. I will give you a bit of guidance through the video and explain what sliders do, etc. But I'm just going to do my own type of edit, which is quite minute. So anyway, DXO, I've got a Black Friday sale on just now, coming up until before the 2nd of December. So I've been offered to give 15% off to my members, you guys, and so I'm quite happy to do that, put the code up. But I have to say, there is a Black Friday sale on, and DXO have really been really nice and said anyone who purchases before the 2nd of December will get an extra 5% off the Black Friday prices. So that's with my discount code on top. So there is a Black Friday sale on. Remember to use PaulC15 and you get an extra 5% off the 50% you already get on Black Friday. Now, I'm going to actually put this video up now. So guys, I'm just going to show you a quick introduction to the interface and show you how things work and where to find them. First and foremost, on the left hand side, your Photolab library, and that's where pretty much all your external hard drives are, etc. You can actually find them under devices and folders. You can actually place your favourite images into pictures here. You can see that. And on the right hand side, you've got your histogram. Here's metadata, which will fill up quite quickly once I put an image up. Everything else will fall in place when you actually use the software. It's quite simple. Quite tricky at first, but once you get it first time, you'll never forget. So I enjoyed actually getting the chance to use this software from DXO Photolab, or DXO of course. They come in many packages, DXO. So what I'm going to do is go to an image that I've actually had taken a few years back. I think it was 2021. So you can just hover over the picture. What you can do is pick the image or unpick. Now, picking the image, of course, is going to highlight it out for you. If you unpick, so you can, unhighlight the image if you don't want to use that in your library. And I'm quite liking the idea of that because, you can also, on the interface of that image, you can also put 3 stars, whatever, change it. Unlike Lightroom, it's more accessible that way. So as you see, I've just hovered over the thumbnail, and on that thumbnail, you'll see, the name of the file, the path name, the type, RGB format, etc. It's got everything there. Also got the metadata. So going to work on this image. So we'll click on this twice. There we go. Now we're actually into the Customize tab. You can see that there. I'm in the Customize tab, and I've chosen this image to work with. So what we're going to do now is look around the frame and inspect the frame to make sure nothing's coming in and distracting the eye. Now this here bothers me here. This is a part of the tree. It almost looks like a black mark. So I'm going to get rid of this, and doing so, I am going to use, on the top here, you've got all your tools, your basic tools. You've got crop, you can actually compare images, etc. side by side, like Lightroom. So before and after, and you've got you can actually blow it up to 50%, 200, and so on. Now on this here, you can also use this little magnifying glass here to go around the image, check the detail, make sure it's nice and sharp, and if there's any corrections you need to make, you can do that with doing this. So you can see if there's anything that's actually not in sharpness, if you have to sharpen it again. With this image, I would say it looks reasonably sharp, so I don't have to do anything with that side. So to come out with that, you hit that again, and cropping is your tool here. I don't think I'm going to crop this image, but what I'm going to use for all these tools up the top there is the retouch tool. So in Lightroom you've got a retouch tool as well, but now Lightroom have they went in the way of AI, where they're actually putting images into areas where you don't want. So you've got a bit more control in this, and I like to think that using DXO Photolab or DXO itself, it's more for the purist photographer, where you've got more control. So you've not got some AI taking over and trying to put something in its place. So once I've got this here, I'm just going to go over this once like that, and it's away. So I can come out the retouch tool now, and to that just press close at the bottom. On the right hand side here, you can close any tools you're actually working for independent adjustments to the image, as opposed to global adjustments. Speaking of global adjustments, this is your global adjustments. The first tab you should really land on is from the left hand side and work your way along right across. It works, believe me, it does work doing that way. So this is the light, exposure, etc. And what DXO Smart Lighting does, now this is something that they add a bit of light to it when the image comes up automatically. Now I do believe you can change that in the settings, but if I just click that again, but you can see the light changing. So I've kind of kept that on. I thought it looks quite good, so it's kind of brighten the image a little bit. Now and you've got different modes. You've got intensity, which you can drag up, and it just makes it more brighter, of course. And you just, anytime you want to reset a slider, unlike Lightroom, you click on here. Yeah, this you click on the actual slider itself with the actual notches, and it'll go back to where you had it. So anything you need to reset, click onto the slider, and it'll reset it for you. Now, what do I want to do with this image? But just kind of making it a bit more less dark around there, the edges, etc. So dragging my blacks up, getting the shadows up a little bit more, so kind of flat out but not too flat. And then my midtones, I'm just going to bring these down a bit. Now, you probably notice there's a few things different there from Lightroom. So highlights, etc., exposure, etc. Exposure's up the top here. You can adjust that, but I've used Smart Lighting, which is pretty much adds what you need. But to me, I'm thinking, if I wanted more control of that, I can actually go up to exposure and just add light. But no, I don't want to do that. I'm quite happy with that. Just reset that there, and I'm just going to use Smart Lighting. So highlights, bring them down a bit. If you want to soften the image, use your micro contrast and use a slider just down a bit there, makes it nice and soft that way. Now, yeah, I've got small adjustments here as well. We've got fine contrast, which I'm quite fine with, I think, and you've got contrast, so if you want to make it a bit more punchy. In this case, I'm quite happy it was before, so I'm not ready to do that yet. And then with fine contrast, you can just a little bit, bring up a little bit. So I've kind of put to about 5. 5 is good. Now I'm looking at the S curve, and I want to highlight, get the highlights up a bit, and drag down the blacks a bit there. A small S curve there coming up there. Just a bit there, that'll do. Now the colour is something I want to change dramatically, and as you see here, the green is quite overpowering, and in my images I like my green to be a bit more muted. So what I'm going to do is just going down to the colour mixer part here, and as you see, you've got the same principle as Lightroom. Another you could say, like Photoshop, etc. Raw is the same as well. And I'm going to get saturation. I'm just going to drag that down, keeping going about there. And what that does, that takes away that overcooked green, as I call it. But at the same time, this is a bit hypocritical. I'm going to put the greens in, but make them darker. So do that, so that's getting them darker. If I go that way, then as you see, it makes the image a bit more kind of washed out. So I'm going to go right down to about there, make it a bit more green, a bit darker. I like it a bit darker. And also it does is bring the shadows back as well, as you see. So I'm going to move on now to the next part, And so looking at this part, what I'm going to use here, they've also got an excellent denoising tool up here, guys, but I'm not using that. But yeah, something excited about, because I think it kind of actually beats a lot of platforms, post-processing platforms. This tool here, it's really good. So the chromatic aberration is fine. You know, if I go around the image, it's going to check it again, get the window up, and you see there it's lovely and sharp. There's no halo or anything there. It's affecting the branches. It's all good. So I don't need to use this tool here. So I'm just going to click on the next tab. And it's like, this is like focal length, focus distancing, etc. Crop, horizon. You can straighten your horizon. And then you've got FX. And what I like about this tool with FX is you can actually create a frame, very simple compared to other platforms. Is when you go in here, you have, there you go, you've got frame here, and you click onto frame, as you see there. You can actually export that with the frame if you wish, or even make it bigger. So there's the size. You can just drag the size up even more if you like. So you've got different types of frames as well you can use. I do like standard white. Getting down here now, everything is quite okay for this end. I don't really need to use that. I'm not going to use the frame just yet for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to take that away. And I'm just going to show you the next tool. Now, this tool is the masking tool. And by God, it is great. So if I click onto here, now this is the local adjustments. And you see here I've got AI mask here. You go to the first one, the little icon up here. Make sure that's in mode down there, and that's clicked there. And you just click onto the, yeah, say example here, I want to put some contrast at, whatever. I can click onto here, which I'm just going to put that like there, and I'm just going to go over to the midtones a little bit. Just drag the midtones down. And just makes it a bit more darker, so I just want to go up a bit, try to get a bit balanced. That's fine. That matches that. And if I want to be complex about it, you can just finely tune it. Unlike Lightroom's pick and subject, this, you drag it across and you can get so many possibilities to adjust the color, the temperature, you make it sharper. You can, you can do a lot of things. This, I mean, myself, I'm not going to use this, but as you see, you can actually do background as well. Now, if you want to really hone in your skills with this, you can go to the bottom here. Now, keep it in mode there, like that, and just click on to, and if I think it's here, it's a little icon again of the head and shoulders. And you see you've got sky, subject, background, people, animals, flowers, vehicles, hair, faces, and clothes. Anyway, I don't need to use that on this one. So these tools are the masking tools, and your masks, so all your masks go here on the right hand side. Now I'm just really experimenting, so I don't think I'll probably have this kind of way. It's just the way for the purpose of the video, just to show how it works. But by God, can it do a lot of powerful things, this tool. So this is the image, what I do like, and it's just subtle adjustments I do to my images, as you know. I don't do much, and I'm quite happy with the process. The only thing I'm not happy with, I think it needs a little bit more punch. So I'm going to go back to the light, and I'm just going to have a look around. Now I can use a bit more fine contrast, just drag up a little bit there. And what I would do is just soften the image a bit. To me, it's nice, but it needs a bit softened. I like my images to be softer, to be fair, than sharper. Now I was going to say, make sure your sliders are on. Click that there. Each one will come up. And that's what I do is grab the intensity of it and just put it down a little bit to make it a little bit more softer. And I think that will be doing quite happily with that. Quite happily. Now I'm just going to do a before and after. And there's several ways you can do this in this program. So the basic way is this. Now you can see there straight away I've toned down the greens quite a lot, made it more deeper, the greens, but a bit more softer looking as well. Now what I'm going to do now is I just clicked on another mask. To click another mask, you just click here at the bottom, the big add sign, and it'll create another mask. And what you do is if you want to make some shadows or make things darker, for example, I'm just going to click here and change that like that. And just do a bit here too. And what I'm doing effectively is trying to get a bit more punch off the shadows, and it gives a bit more depth to the image doing this. So I'm just lightly just going over. I'm not really paying attention as much as the image as I should do, but this is only for your purpose to see how it works. And I'm just going to go over areas that I think it should be darker. There, possibly down there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much okay because everything else is quite dark up there, isn't it? So what I'll do now is I will go down with the shadows and just right down, kind of up a bit there. That's a bit too much. There we go. So the shadows there. Now what you've got is, for example, you want to give a bit of depth to the shadows. It almost looks black. You can drag the opacity down, as you see there I'm doing now, and it just takes away the harshness of that a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to do a before and after, and there you go. So the shadows have worked well, and it's not lost the originality of the shadows that you see with both images. So the shadows have worked well with that adjustment. Quite happy with that. Now I can probably put the frame on it now because I'm quite happy with that image. So I'll go back to FX. That's the second one along from the brush there. And if I scroll down to frames, that's there. Just click that one. And I'm just going to make it a little bit more that way. Yeah, that's better.